What's happening, people? Flex from United Stand here, and before you all say it in the comments, what does he know about boxing? I know you're going to say that, and I'm thinking that myself right now, but I've got many talents, and one of them is just being a sports geek in general. So I'm going to give you my thoughts on the Joshua Parker fight that's coming up next week. Huge fight. Two heavyweight champions. Joshua, my guy, I think he's definitely going to prosper in this fight. First of all, let me just put that out, let me get straight into it. I think Joshua's definitely going to win. Obviously, for obvious reasons, he has to win. You know, I've read something this week that losing scares him. So he has to win the fight. You've got Wilder knocking on the door. Obviously, he beat Ortiz as well, and he's kind of slyly waiting for the winner of this fight, in my opinion. So a lot on the line. You know, Parker's feeling very confident. I saw a lot of stuff in the build-up with Johnny Nelson. He was saying that he caught up with with Parker's trainer. He was saying he feels slim, he feels quick, he feels fast, and most of all, he feels confident, and he feels like he's being underestimated, especially coming over to this country and well, Wales, but you know, over to these shores and fighting. So a lot of people are saying don't sleep on Parker. You know, to the average boxing fan, which is probably someone like myself. I'm not hugely into it, but from the outsider, it is easy to kind of go, do you know what, Joshua, you have that all day. But I'm getting the impression from a lot of boxing purists that, you know, don't sleep on Parker. He's a world champion for a reason. You know, I think he's unbeaten, and he's a world champion for a reason. So, and it's heavyweight boxing. In heavyweight boxing, one shot. That's it. One shot. Could be on the ropes for 11 rounds and 2.5 minutes. Last 30 seconds. Bang, you're gone. Joshua's answered a lot of questions from that Klitschko fight, in my opinion. He showed a lot of heart. He showed that he was able to firstly get knocked down, completely knocked down, and get up. And for those few rounds afterwards where it looked like he was a sitting duck, he managed to find an extra gear. And that was massive for AJ. I think that proved a lot of doubters, a lot of haters wrong about him. And I think that's going to see him go far in his career. Those big question marks you have over your career. What's your chin like? What are you like when you go down? Can you get back up? Can you hold? Experience. And you know, yes, it might have been an aging Klitschko, but you still beat him at a point of the fight where you looked like I looked at it and I thought, you're going to lose. You're done. You are done. You look knackered. You can't throw any punches. He's out on his feet. Found an extra gear, and I think he'll have too many gears for Parker as well, in my opinion. But it's going to be a close fight. It's going to be a close fight. A lot of people are underestimating Parker. I wouldn't say I'm underestimating him. I'm just going with my prediction that I think Joshua will win. I think he's quicker. I think he can punch harder. And I just think he has more talent than Parker, in my opinion. I think he's a better technical boxer. I think his inside game's better. I think his resilience is better, in my opinion. So I think he's got all the attributes above him. But I do think that Parker will be tricky, and Joshua will definitely have to be on his A game. Joshua's been talking about wanting to win in style himself. He doesn't want to just scrape through the fight. He wants to put on a show for the fans and reach that next level. And if he can get through this fight, which, like I said, I think he will, that Wilder fight, man, I think that's just on the tip of everyone's tongue. Joshua being as professional as he is, obviously he doesn't want to be talking too much about the Wilder thing and the Fury thing. He wants to keep to his business and sort out what he needs to sort out. And that's the best way to be, especially when everyone else around him is trying to hype him up for let's say, the fight that people really want to see, which is the Wilder fight, me included. But if you're a professional athlete, man, you've got to take care of business. And I think he will. Starting from next week, I think he will. And we go on to that Wilder fight, man. I hate to keep talking about it because, like I said, this fight hasn't been done yet, but I just can't wait to see that fight. Everybody wants to see it. The world wants to see it. The world, I think, wants to see the Fury fight too. Him and Fury. So a lot to play for Joshua. You know, he wants to unify the division. He wants to become the best. I heard him on TalkSport saying he thinks he has 10 years to prove to himself what he set out to do, so he can leave the sport with his head held high. Because we said once boxing's done with you, it's a dark place if you're not ready for that. So I think he's mentally prepared for that, and I think he's going to show the boxing world why he's the real deal. I'm Flex from United Stand. For those of you who've been thinking, what the hell is this football guy doing on the boxing channel? There's an insight into a little bit of my boxing knowledge. Come on, Joshua, I think you got this.